lights on. Are we low level or high level? Are we low level or high level? Are we low level or high level? I need to hear y'all. I need to feel that energy in the room tonight. We came to go to the next level, didn't we? Yeah. We came for some power tonight, didn't we? We came for that energy. I'm in the triple D, they say. Yeah. They told me y'all black as hell out here. That's what I like to see. That's why I had to put on my black for y'all. I said we going full God tonight. See, there's low level and there's high level. And the reason that we say that is to differentiate. There's niggas, then there's gods. Being a nigga, you ignorant, you selfish. You're unhealed version, right? We still go out there and we hunt each other, we murder. We do all of those things that's against ourselves, even though we know that they're wrong because we have been made that way. And we have been made to celebrate us becoming demons instead of gods. So we say we on demon time. We ain't really on no God time because we ain't got nothing to show for it. A demon can show you the things that he's done that makes him a demon. But if I say I'm on God time, you say prove it then. See, if you don't speak truth in the midst of falsehood, you can't be a God. You got to speak truth even if your voice starts to tremble. Because that's how you represent God. When you have thoughts inside your head, you have to be able to confide within that God within and then have the ability and the audacity to strategize, to bring it outside, to show the world who you are. That's power. So we don't talk about power enough. When you are aligned from who you are and you walk stomach in, chest out, head up, you're not one of the ones being hunted. You're the ones on the hunt. The world is yours. You got to roar and you a lion, but they keep you in a cage. And they no longer even have to lock that cage because you've made it your home. But when you break out of those chains that exist on the mind, when you break out your comfort zone and you go past the fears, that's when you operating in a place of courage. So now you start to do the things that they say, who the hell he think he is? And you stand on it with principles because you can't build a culture without principles. So we talking about creating a new culture with this high level tour. See, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan once said that all we do is low level things, low level traveling. That's food, cars, Ubers, trains, planes, jets, boats. The high level traveling is in the astral plane. That high level traveling is when you go from the darkness of your mother's womb into that mind of God. That high level traveling is when you go into the depths of yourself to pull out all of your abilities. And now when the world see you, they say that man producing something, that woman producing something, and everybody got to bow down. See, we have our five senses, and they can easily be fooled. You can hear something but not understand. You can be manipulated through those words. You can smell some food and still not good for you. But because you don't have the knowledge inside to interpret and know what's good for the substance of your God being, you have been fooled. See, we use too much of the material substance to measure reality. It's the immaterial plane where we have no knowledge of. See, we know a little bit about the brain, but the mind still evades us. The mind is immaterial. We think of ourselves too much in flesh and not enough in spirit. So therefore, we give up the most valuable things for things that ain't worth nothing. Back in the day, it started in the economy. People started giving up their gold for paper dollars because they convinced them that this was a good idea. All they had to do was say, we have the authority. And when they made that authority, they made them God over you. So they built up things that were sublime, like banks, to look like huge churches. Because now you are in this awe thinking something is bigger than you. And so you happily give away your power. Every single day when we spend time on things that does not give us an investment back, a return on our knowledge, a return on our time and our power, we're giving up the most valuable thing we have for what? Nothing. So at the end of the year, you're like, all right, what did our people do? How much we got now? Oh, we ain't got nothing. Then everybody start talking about their individual accomplishments as if that means something. That don't mean nothing. See, the most valuable way to control time is through family. Because you can take an idea that's in your head and raise your child up with that same idea, and he can do the same thing for generations. But we not time territorial, we space territorial. This is my block, my hood, my city. But when is it gonna be your time? See, when it's your time, no, I got the next 10 years, the next 20 years, next 100 years, next 1,000 years. See, we have zip codes in our neighborhoods where we targeted with the lowest education. We always busy. So therefore, we don't have time to think. And that thinking time that we have is that time they consider to be boredom. But see, the same way when you are a child and you don't know how to be bored, right? Then you don't never learn how to be creative. Because in that boredom, it forces us to think of the future. It forces us to think of critical ways to problem solve. But as an adult and as a child, we start thinking that, oh no, I don't want to be bored, so I need to be stimulated. No, you need to be thinking. See, we have lost the art of thinking and start building out technology. People are afraid of it because the technology is thinking. So you mad at AI doing what you're not doing when it was built off your capabilities. It was built off the neocortex of the mind, its ability to critical think. All they did was take the human processes and make it an external thing. See, AI lines up with the numerical value of 19. That A is 1, that I is 9 numerically. The universe is mathematical. See, the mathematical mind is one that learns to be able to sit by itself in stillness and think. That's one that has more of an introverted personality. I don't need to be around people. I need to be thinking so I can be able to take original thoughts. And when I have these original thoughts, now I have something to add into the world. So this is how we start to become immortal, either through our family, through our impact, through the production of things that we leave behind, through the way that we inspire the world. But now we die and we've forgotten the next day because we are so ambitious. What do I want to become? What do I want to gain? How much money I want to bank? But never thinking about who you want to be. What do you want to become? So that aspirational goal is saying, I want to become more, because you know how many millionaires is in a graveyard that nobody remembers? They had a lot, but they ain't become much. So our goal today, as we go and we learn these universal principles and we learn to increase our spirit and our power, is adding value onto self. And these are the lessons that makes our spirit more valuable as we carry those on. I don't do this as a money play. This is an impact play. This is a legacy play. I want to be remembered. That's my selfish. So if I do the most for the culture, if I help serve the culture in a way where now men are confident, because ain't nobody care about the man today. Why do I say that? They say, come on, Keys, you know it's the women's movement time. I know, I got y'all ladies. Just relax. Just function with me for a second. You know, today it's illegal to be a man. If you speak like a man, think like a man, talk like a man, walk like a man, take up the space as a man, you're considered to be toxic. You can't be outside giving your opinion on reality and the way things are. What's wrong with you keep showing up like you the new Malcolm X, Black Panther, flyest young god on the planet Earth? Black Muslim masculine, don't care. Everything is my turf. I make high-level conversations. I make the devil mad. How the fuck he do that? This ain't a fad. See, I stand out there with full confidence to show everybody else what they can do, because there's no longer common sense. It's rare now. Because no longer being men, they scared now. They used to stand up, now they bow down. They'll kill their brother, but they'll smile for another. Most of them claim to be gangsters, but honestly, they suckers. See, when you know yourself and you confident, I can come up here and freestyle in front of y'all. Because the devil didn't get me when I was a child. My parents told me there was a God, and I've been working on those protocols of what does that mean, right? I'm going to stand outside and I'm going to roar. I can take ideas. I can build business and industry. I don't take boxes and lock myself in there and say, this is my title. No, I'm everything I need to be. Malcolm X said, by any means what? He said, by any means what? Well, what are the means? See, most people think the means is standing at the curtain with the gun looking out. The means is the knowledge. The means is the skill set. The means is the unification. The means is the sacrifice. But what are we going to get from those means? We got to produce family. We have to produce industry. If we are only a people that are consumers, we are only taking in the energy of the world. We are never giving nothing. Even when we do, we don't own it. Somebody else is managing our energy for us. So when we look at that energy, energy is the measurement of all electrical activity on this planet Earth. And when we learn how to control our energy, it allows us to have power. Power is what we're going for today. No more cowards today. You stand on what you stand on. You have a plan, you strategize, you write it down, you execute. But the problem is, we unhealed. See, we as men have the worst statistics, specifically black men have the worst statistics in America. But nobody ever talks about it. Highest levels of cancer, suicide, gun violence. I can go on a very long list. But you wouldn't know it because it seems that the most progressive thing is to pick everybody else's agenda and make it seem like the world is getting better if these people are progressing. But how you not start at the people who have it worse? Because if we have it worse and men are no longer filled with anxiety, they're confident. Now the testosterone starts to raise again. Now you want to raise your children again because you didn't heal from the trauma, the effects that they've created in our communities. You didn't start it, but you are now a child of it. You are a few generations in. But what happens when we now have the ability to fund our minds? We have days like this to where it's not a concert. It's not no funny business going on, not no broke risk, none of that. You know what I'm saying? But we can stand and we come together because we want to now bring back that industry of philosophers. What happened to philosophy in our community? The art of thinking. We don't even think no more. Not for ourselves. We are always socially influenced by someone else telling us what to think. And every time a new technology or something comes about, what you think about this? Because we've lost the art of thinking. Artificial intelligence comes around. The first thought is fear, fear, fear. I got a brother that I'm going to bring on, and we will have a high-level conversation. And he utilized AI in a very brilliant capacity when it came up, right? Y'all seen my thumbnails that we have for high-level conversations look like movie posters? Well, this brother, he actually started creating those for us because we had an idea that if we want to reach our people, we have to be able to compete because everybody has a time budget, right? Your time budget is what you go spend. Everything is categorized in your day, whether you know it or not. This also becomes an algorithm, right? The way that you spend money, the way you spend time, the way you spend energy, whether you know it or not. So there's a certain amount of time you're going to spend on entertainment, a certain amount of time you're going to spend on education, a certain amount of time you're going to spend on creativity, so on and so forth. So you have a time budget. So some of y'all might spend 20%, 25% on your day on Netflix, right? So I'm like, okay, if I want to get into their budget, how do we make something that's equal, right, to the content that they spend their time on? Because now we have to compete at the highest level. So we said that people take consciousness as a luxury. Well, let's make it a luxury then. So therefore, we started to put it out there like a movie before we get into any industry. We thought about the multisensory experience. We just left New Orleans. And out there, you know, they got the voodoo. And voodoo is all about multisensory experiences. If you know what a multisensory experience is, if you go to the club. You ever been to a club and they serving food at the same time? So now you got the drink, which is getting you in the spirit. You got some spicy food, right? And you got the music. It's all setting you up into this vibrational trance. You are in this trance state where everything is being suggested to you, and it's an out-of-body experience, and you are experiencing it with all your senses. The thing that does it the most, that we all love the most, is sex. Right? Act like y'all ain't having sex. Don't be trying to act all righteous in front of me now. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to act like, all right, I see what's going on today. Y'all put on y'all Sunday best. I'm going to let y'all get away with that. It's cool. But I know y'all out here having sex. Y'all busting down. You know what I'm saying? This is the shameless generation. This generation, you can be a hoe, you can be whatever. Just stop shaming people. She just had 10 bodies. He just did whatever. Don't shame, bro. No judgment zone. Y'all crazy. No, we judging. Because sometimes you got to have some shame. Shame on you. You know what I'm talking about? Like, shame is when we hit our rock bottom. And from that rock bottom, you see yourself. You don't get stuck there because that can rot the soul, right? But when you see yourself doing something that's not right, you shed light on that and you expose yourself to yourself. And when you expose yourself, that means that you're now bringing light to areas that was once in the dark. And that's when you are able to grow, because now you have self-acceptance on who you are. And then you can now study not just what you're doing, but why. See, we don't investigate and have full self-perception and self-awareness, but the investigation of self gets you to that point of, why do I do it? Sometimes it's deep inside the trauma. Sometimes you keep self-destructing relationships because you grew up in a toxic and chaotic environment, and that's all you know, right? So before things get good, you know what? Let me destroy this. I don't think I can hold the accountability. Or you've seen a divorce between your mother and father in that relationship. And this how you were trained at a younger consciousness. And as an adult, you think that the decisions that you're making are your own. But these are your preconditions. This is what happened to you when you were a child that you never got over. And so there's so many men who never develop into men. I should say males. They stay boys forever. Never being able to break the shell because it's too tough being a man today. I got to do all that work. I got to take care of a woman. That's why everybody like, man, I want to go 50-50. You know what I'm saying? You know, they got like 6, 7 different types of masculinity now. It's all kind of new stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that came out of the fairy tale of being a man or being a boy. See, when you teach that boy integrity and you teach them adversity, it builds character. When you can take them through rites of passages in certain situations, Native Americans send you out there for 3 days. You got to go eat, you got to hunt, you got to kill, you got to protect yourself, you have to create your own housing situation. That teaches you how to manage yourself, because now you can manage yourself. You can handle your activities, what makes you feel like I'm ready for the world. It breaks you out that shell and it cuts that second and biblical cord that you have, right? That attachment, that emotional dependence that you have to your parents. So now when you're not a boy that is overspoiled and doesn't feel like he could deal with the world, you know what? He becomes living in his fantasy world. They call it the Peter Pan syndrome. In the Peter Pan movie, the man was the villain. He wanted to stay a boy forever. I can just imagine things. No responsibility. We just have fun. That's where we at today with society. No responsibility. Let's just have fun. Nobody wants to take accountability. We can live completely shameless and everything is okay at all times. So this destroys that boy from becoming a man, right? So now, how can that woman find a man? And see, you have to learn that when you are a person that can see beyond the veils of their eyes, right? Then you see beyond the illusions. Most people only know the symbol of what something represents. The body of a man you think represents a man, but if you have the eyes to see, you can see deeper and you can see behind that, and now you can see reality. The reality of it is this is a hurt boy, and the reason you chose him is because you haven't grown into a full adult woman either. So when you are able to expose that within yourself, a lot of people don't want to be around you when you start making that journey into your higher self. You start eating good. You start thinking better. You start moving better. You start coming to high-level conversations. What you going there for? And that's a representation because people don't want to be around you. Family is the hardest issue that we have with because we want to take them through every level of our elevation. But they're not ready for that evolution. If they don't choose it for themselves, then they can't go. But when they're around you and you one of them ones, that means that you always growing. Every time they talk to you, you always got something new going on. Always healing journeys and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Now you don't eat chicken? All right, this dude here. You know what I'm saying? He down there Muslim, huh? They don't like that. The reason why is because when you got that kind of light, what ended up happening is that light that you have that allows you to improve is a light that you're constantly exposing those areas within self, right? Which means you're growing. In the universe, they say where light reaches areas that it currently hasn't, the universe is expanding. That's the same thing that happens in the universe of yourself. But that light is not just one that's inward. When you're around other people, you shine on their flaws. So now they looking at you like you trying to correct them. And it's like, bro, I'm just doing me. You understand? If I'm looking good, eating better, you don't want to do it, but you dusty and I'm not now. Right? I'm traveling. I got different taste levels. I'm in the stocks and wealth. What y'all on? Y'all on the block? We on the blockchain. Y'all Crips, we in the crypto. You know what I'm saying? It's different now. They like, oh, these dudes. So you have to learn to separate to elevate because you got to look at a butterfly. A butterfly don't stay moving, with the little, the caterpillars. No, you got to go separate, be in the cocoon where you protect it, and then when he come out, he can fly and do things he ain't never thought of. Right? And so a lot of people be in that phase where they ready to be in that cocoon phase, but they want to stay moving with the caterpillars. So they stay catting off. They on the block. They doing things that people who know their old self, who feel familiar with them, and so you're trying to make them happy. And so now you going against yourself instead of improving on that journey you know you're supposed to. That time you're supposed to be spending researching and developing on your project. You know what? I'm going to go outside with the homies because now they going to think I'd change if I didn't. You understand me? Like that, I don't have a problem with if you in my way, then you got to go. All elevation either comes with pain or it comes with cutting things off, right? When you want to grow your hair, it's new growth. You got to cut something off. As a child, when you're growing, sometimes your knees start to have pain because it represents that you're growing. And the problem is when that pain happens, instead of growing through it, to get what's on the other side, you stunt the growth. I don't want to deal with the pain. I'm going to distract myself with something that makes me feel good. So now, you know what? I'm scrolling on the phone even though I'm supposed to be doing something, but it's distracting my mind because I don't want to deal with the tough emotions. We do that all the time as a coping mechanism for trauma. You don't want to deal with the shame. You don't want to deal with the guilt. Well, let me do something that makes me feel good because if I don't deal with this, I don't have to go through it. And this is why some people can't go to that next level. Pain pushes you to progress, right? You step over that line. Wherever that fear is, I'm stepping over here. Now I see things differently. I see beyond the veil. I see that you was holding me back. So when I want to go to another level and I have an idea, right, I have to bring it out. We took high-level conversations to 30-something million views on 30-something episodes. We don't have the backing of all the black media and things of that nature. No, we navigate. I find people in the places that work in these corporations, I'm not waiting for them to improve. I said, wait a minute, what's my strategy? Because you have to move like a military general. And most people don't study war. When you study the general playbook like Sun Tzu or you study Hannibal Barca, now you know how to move rather than just be reactionary. Because most people just have tactics. You have to develop a philosophy towards life. And you have to move towards that philosophy. Where there's a will, there's a way. Marcus Garvey used to say. I love that. Because now it lets me know that the fact that the mind factory thinks of it, it means that there's also the capability of it being done. Your mind won't even think of things that you can't do yet. There's thoughts that you haven't had yet because you don't have the capability yet. But if you have it now, you just have to ask yourself, are you man or woman enough to go on that journey? So listen, family, I'm supposed to cut this monologue short, but when I get out here, the energy be right. I be feeling that revolutionary high level spirit. Are we low level or high level? I'm about to bring out my good brother, man. This good brother, we're gonna have a high level talk about this AI, man, because there's a lot of money to be made if you learn how to play the game right. You understand me? Can we be rich and righteous? Can we be wealthy and enlightened? You know, can we be conscious with cash? Come on in. Well, I'm about to bring out the young God, Mr. Grateful. Can y'all make some noise for him? My brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, give it up one more time for 19 Keys, man.
How you want to have it? You want to stand up and have a conversation? How you want to do this?
And listen, I just wanted to give you your credit where it's due.
Yes, sir.
Because there's a certain form of intelligence that has me on the stage tonight. And 19 Keys taught me about the first 8 types of intelligence. There's linguistic intelligence, which he is obviously a god at. There's kinesthetic intelligence, where we can move our bodies in space. There's spatial intelligence, where we know where we are at any given time. You know, the people who are really good at directions, spatial intelligence. There's musical intelligence. There's mathematical intelligence. There's naturalistic intelligence. Mm-hmm. What are the other types of intelligences?
You know.
And there's interpersonal intelligence.
Come on.
And there's intrapersonal
Come on,
intelligence.
yeah.
But an intelligence that brought me here tonight is artificial intelligence. Now, real quick, I want everybody to raise their hands if they've heard about artificial intelligence recently. Okay? Now, keep your hands up if you've seen a movie about artificial intelligence, a robot who has tried to take over the world. Yeah? All right, now lower your hand if the robot or the AI was the villain in that movie. Right. I feel like we've been programmed a little bit to be afraid of the very thing that could free us. The thing that freed me, you heard him. I was designing his thumbnails for a long time. I was a freelance designer, and me and Keys had a relationship, one-to-one, that was service to service. But for some reason, I'm on stage today. Something changed. It was another form of intelligence that I was able to grasp onto. It helped me to enhance what I already had. And I want to let you guys know that it's not something to fear. It's something to be greedy with. Something that Earn Your Leisure taught me in the stock market is that when other people are fearful, be greedy, buy more. But when other people are greedy, be fearful. It seems to me that the world is afraid of artificial intelligence right now. So I'm spending all my time on it. All I do is ask questions. I'm asking it questions about business. I'm asking it questions about the universe. I'm asking it questions about myself. And what it's teaching me is how to enhance what I already have by delegating some of those 8 intelligence that I might not be that good at. So that's what I want to talk with 19 Keys about tonight. It's about how we can enhance who we already are by enlightening ourselves with this new form of intelligence. Y'all ready for that? All right.
All right. Can we get somebody to remove the podium? Thank you. So, what I found that was key that my brother did, I like people who take execution, right? I don't like people who just be talking about stuff and they don't take the moment and grasp it. There's too many people who think that this is just the time of master teachers. This is a time of master execution, master builders. If you're not building something, you're not wielding nothing. How you gonna wield knowledge if it doesn't produce anything? So he went on a journey with the prompting. He took AI, he has AI, wait a minute now. If you're so smart, teach me how I can get 100,000 followers. In how many days?
30.
In 30 days. Now, how many people have been on social media trying to get followers for a while and ain't hit 100,000? Everybody, they don't want to say, they don't want to admit it. It's cool. Nobody want to admit it. It's 5,000. Y'all got 6. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? But the brother was so smart that he put in the first prompt, and you utilized that prompt, and it worked, and he started gaining momentum, right? And when you got to the end of your 30 days, because I started seeing your videos everywhere, by the end of your 30 days, can you tell people how many followers you had? From start, how many, and then from finish till like today?
Today I have 177,000 followers.
Now, the followers is not even the important part. Of course, that's organic, but he's been able to create a brand within that first month. Not only you created a brand, what kind of companies have you been able to work with since you started that journey?
I just partnered with Adobe. I've worked with Meta, formerly Facebook. I have calls with them weekly. Of course, I've been able to work with 19 Keys.
The biggest.
The biggest. So life has changed. Life has changed since then.
So the formula for me is artificial intelligence plus natural intelligence equals enhanced intelligence, right? It works better if you're already smart, right? So there's a lot of people who they have access to it, but you don't even know what to prompt it, right? So first of all, I want to start from the basics of what is a prompt.
A prompt is the data that you are giving an artificial intelligence model so that you can get data back. All right, let's start from scratch. All right, let's start from scratch. You know when like you're texting your ex, you're texting your friend, and those 3 little words come up at the top above your keypad, and it's predicting the next word you may want to use? Artificial intelligence on a text-to-text model, where you are giving a text and getting text back, is simply a sophisticated, scaled version of that. All it's doing is predicting what you may want to receive back based on the information that you are giving it. But the thing that makes it so sophisticated is that ChatGPT has been trained on 1 petabyte of data. Now, if you aren't like a computer nerd like me, a petabyte of data means 1.3 billion books is essentially the level of information that it has been trained on. Now, do any of y'all have a friend that's ever read 1.3 billion books?
People ain't read 1.3 books.
Feel me? And if you did have a friend that read 1.3 billion books, you'd probably be asking them some questions. And you do have that friend. You can download it right now and start talking to it, and it's available to you.
So with prompting, it's a skill set, right? Because it's like an interviewer sitting across from somebody who may have a vast array of knowledge, but the interview is only going to be as good as the questions that you ask, right? If you don't even have a certain level of knowledge, right, or understanding in their field, you can't even ask certain questions to get certain answers. This is why I say it works better if you're already smart, right? If you already are in a career industry, you can use it to enhance what you do. So I was talking to him behind the scenes, and I'm like, number one, there's a lot of people who are going to lose their jobs, and rightfully so, because people have become lazy and conditioned, right? But what's the best way to go about it? In my eyes, if you know that a new technology has come out and a person is paying you for a job, right? Now, you still charging that person even though this technology can do it for 1/10 of the price. That person may look at the wage that they pay you and be tempted to learn for themselves because they can pay themselves that wage, right? Or maybe they want to train somebody up that's an intern and pay them less than you to just learn AI. So it always said that AI won't replace you. A person using AI will. But the key to that is to say, okay, you go to that same person and be like, listen, for the same work that I've been doing for you, I can now increase the amount of work output in a lesser amount of time, and guess what? I can even get it done for cheaper now, right? That's creating job safety, because now you can do more jobs than just the job that you're doing. And so instead of that person being tempted to learn it themselves, I got somebody that's using AI, so now I don't have to do that, right? So I would be mad if I'm paying a person the same amount of salary when I know for a fact that this now can be done for free or pennies on the dollar. So instead, you go to people and you are kind of proactive with it and say, I'm using AI to not only enhance it, right, to do a better job and to give you at a cheaper service without wasting any of the quality of it. So that goes into different business industries as well. But the key that I'm seeing is a democratization of creative tools, right? So I want to talk about a little bit of the text-to models that they have out there, right? So can you explain what the text-to model, you know what I'm saying, but I want to say it in a certain way when we
For
flow.
sure, for sure. And I want to touch on what you were saying too, because you're right. What's going to happen is these companies are going to realize that they can do the same work for cheaper, the same work in a less amount of time. But what does that do to people who have the jobs? All it's going to do is increase the amount of output that they have to put in order to remain valuable, right? Bless you.
Thank you.
And what I think is going to happen is that people are going to get tired of that. People are going to get tired of feeling like they got to give more every single day. They already given everything that they have. So what happens is they'll take it into their own hands, similarly to how I did. And now, all those excuses that were there about how you can't build your own brand or build your own business, you can now. Because everything that you weren't good at or you didn't know can now be delegated to AI in the same way that your employer would do it. In the same way that they're firing people and replacing them with artificial intelligence is the same thing that we can do. We can use the same exact tools that they are using. It's no different.
And not to cut your wisdom, for example, right? No disrespect to photographers in here, but anybody can be a photographer now. And the reason I say that is because if any of you are wanting to pick up the career field of photography, all you gotta do is buy a camera. You buy a camera, you point and shoot. Now, what's the difference between professional photographers and you? Well, they know how to edit. They know how to color correct. They know how to do Photoshop. But now, Adobe has AI that would do all those things for you. But you can't send a robot or the AI out to actually shoot the pictures. But they do have text-to-image models that will generate pictures based on you just typing things in. Or you can sit somebody in front of a white screen, take a picture of them, and then it will just generate a background or whatever they want. So instead of you actually having to go to photography school and learn lighting and angles and all of these different things, all you now have to do is buy a camera. So the excuse of where I don't know how to make more money, I don't know how to do nothing. Everybody knows a very lazy person that ain't got nothing going on that should be making money but always got excuses, right? Now they have even less. So instead, you can go out there and say, you know, the average black company don't have employees for like 3 to 5 years, right? Now, number one, by having employees, you can increase your work output. I say AI is a wealth transfer because instead of you needing those workers, you have AI, so you don't have to pay nobody, which is like you getting an increase in budget, right? So now you got an editor, now you got a photographer, right? Now you have access to these tools that used to make building business harder. You have them at the tip of your fingers. That makes it easy, right? So if you're not updating your mind to current time technology, you're not being effective to where we are. You're thinking about business to where it was when you started your business, except for the way you can do it now in 2023, right? So if we can quickly go over some of the text-to models before we get off the stage and let people know some of the ones that you use, that'll be helpful tonight.
Some of the tools that I use, and the main tool that I use to go from 0 to essentially 200,000 followers now is ChatGPT. And there's 2 models within ChatGPT. There's 3.5 and there's 4. Now 4 is paid. You have to pay $20 to get the ChatGPT 4. But what it has is a reasoning ability that is similar to a human being. It can solve riddles, it can solve puzzles, and it knows cause and effect. For instance, you can give it a picture of balloons, and you can ask it, what would happen if I cut the string to this balloon? It would understand the fact that those would fly away. ChatGPT 3.5 is more factual, and it wouldn't understand that. So there are different models to this. I use 4 personally because I need a bit more strategy in the responses that I'm getting from my prompts. When I'm doing images, I'm using a tool called Midjourney. Midjourney is a tool that allows you to create images from text prompts. It's text to image. So all I do is I type in, for the photographers out here, I'll type in my prompt and I can specify the type of camera and the type of lens and the shutter speed and the focal point that I want to use in that image that is going to give back to me. And then we also have text to video. Now text to video is where you can create straight movies from text. And if you don't know how video works, video is simply a bunch of pictures all strung together, right? So all we're doing is taking the same technology, but we're making multiple pictures from the same text prompt and stringing them together to make movement, okay? And if you understand the basics of how these technologies work, you can see the possibilities in them, which is why you need to start using them. Use them every day. Go in there and just start playing with them. Even if you think it's gonna be bad, you can go in there and type in goo goo gaga and it's gonna give you something back. Just go in there and start using it and learning how to communicate with artificial intelligence, because it has a style of its own that's programmed in there. And me and Keys actually, it's possible to layer your own style on top of these artificial intelligence models.
Like, not only that, you can connect them to like your website. So now you can say, you can connect the plugin to Shopify and say, Shopify, write me a blog today about something that's connected to your brand. It will generate a blog, and in some cases, it can instantaneously post it for you. Now, the importance of content today, of course, is content is a transaction for attention. You take that attention and then you convert that into whatever you want. So you see celebrities today, they do stupid things to try to get attention because they know that a percentage of people who eyeballs that they catch are going to buy a product, right? Or going to add on to their community, which adds on to growth, which increases their bottom line. So the reason everybody in here that has a business, put your hand up, right? If you have a business, you now need a media arm, right? That media is that engagement that you're going to have because it's now a fight for attention. If you do not have a brand, it's going to be very hard to get the attention of people, right? Because we now have algorithms. You have your personal algorithm. Your personal algorithm are the things that you normally like. It's going to get to a point where you have an AI assistant. You tell AI assistant, hey, I want to order me some water off Amazon. It's connected to your wallet. It orders off Amazon. Now, you didn't tell it what type of water, but it already knows. You want that Fiji, right? That Fiji show up at your door. So what happens, instead of going to a different brand and you got a new brand and you selling water, how are you going to get somebody to buy your product if they automating their life? So you have to build a strong brand presence so that when people have automated lives, then your product is being chosen. The same way it's like, hey, I want to entertain and watch something. High-level conversations pop on. AI, like, I know what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to worry about that. Because we building a strong brand. But a brand has to have a strong presence. It has to have rituals. You have to build a community for your business today. I would even suggest building a community, then building a business around it so you can service the people of that community. Today, people do not want to have to go to many different places. They want to be able to go to one brand for everything. So the more ways that you can service your customer, the better your brand is. So when we talking about, like, one of the AIs I use is a video. It's like VIDYO. And you can go to the warehouse.ai. It's a list of all different AI tools. And the video AI is I can take one of my videos and I can plug in the link to it, and it will automatically chop it up into all these different edits for Reels, for Facebook, all of this. Now it saves me time, it saves me money, right? I can type in a specific word, and it will go to that particular word in that video. I have an AI person building out a voice model AI for 19 keys. Sometimes I don't want to talk to people. You got to talk to my AI. You want to talk to the real me, it's going to cost a little more in the future. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, right? But the AI in me, he know what I would say. You know what I'm talking about? But, you know, the way that the future is being built out as we talk about the future of things, which is what we're talking about now, because I've been talking about this for about 3 to 5 years, and now we're here. We're in that moment that you're supposed to prepare for, right? And so every time there's a new technology, we end up getting left behind, right? We end up becoming just the consumers. On the software side, you can create all of these different things, and I don't actually have to now go low level with no conversation. You can take notes and put it into ChatGPT and say, what the hell is 19 keys talking about? You can say, you know what, I only have a high school degree, or diploma. Can you explain it to a person that doesn't have a high level education, don't know these things? Now the ChatGPT go break it down so you can understand it. You can tell it to synthesize it, explain it to me in however different way that you want to. Your intelligence will be completely predicating your experience with AI and what you get from it. And the reason I want us to have it is because they're going to be using it to manipulate people, right? It's going to be very hard to tell what's real and what's like it is today, because you know the ladies with the filters and stuff, you can't tell what's real. Now they got the AI filters where shit, it can be live. So you could be FaceTiming a person and the filter's still active. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be hard to know what's real and what's not. So by understanding the technology, now you have eyes to see beyond the illusion. What do you think is the biggest opportunity in this space?
The biggest opportunity in this space is bringing back our self-power, bringing our power back, because there's no more middlemen. For so long, we've just been told that we can't do it because we don't have the right person. We don't have the money. We don't got the resources. We ain't got the brand. We ain't got the platform. All of that is being stripped away because we're all on the same playing field now. Coca-Cola and Amazon are using ChatGPT too, and so can you. So I think the power of self is the biggest opportunity that we can take advantage of in the age of AI. Educating ourselves. I want to let you know, we are no longer in the age of information. There was the industrial age where we were building up machines so we could have cars, we could automate the manufacturing process. All of y'all could have all the products that you wanted, anytime you wanted. And then we had the information age where we were able to know anything at any time. We all had a phone, we had Google. Now you can know anything ever. Now we are in the age of generation, the age of AI, where all of that information, that billion books that I was talking about, now that information can be generated into anything new that is in your imagination. You have to find out what you want. If you understand that there's a person there that has the answer to any question that you ever had, you have to know what you want. What is it that you want? Who do you want to be? What is your brand? Understand what questions you want to ask. And once you understand that, you can generate the life that you want to live, quite literally, and get your self-power back. That is the biggest opportunity in the age of AI.
Y'all give it up for Mr. Grateful. I think this is my first time my brother is experiencing such a large stage, so I really need y'all to make some noise for him. You know, stand up, my brother. I'm grateful to have you here, man. I look forward to the future and building it out with you. He just told you nothing has to stay in your mind anymore. There's no more excuses. If you don't know how to build something, you now have a machine be like, how do I do this? Right? You can be like, AI, you told me what to do and I'm lazy. How do I cure my procrastination? Right? So now you have an ability to go through steps to get past that self-defeating attitude that sometimes we have and that laziness. Right? I use it all the time to study self, to examine myself. Okay, give me a test on me. I'll tell it to give me a test so I can understand aspects. And then I take that test and I'll be like, all right, I need you to grade my personality based on what you just got. What's my intelligence type? So I'm using it to enhance my self-appreciation, my self-knowledge. Because the more you know about yourself, the better you're going to be able to use it in your business. And there's no reason. I mean, if you ever use Siri, you use AI, right? Instead of asking Siri, because Siri don't even be knowing everything, right? You might as well ask one that's more competent so you can actually get an answer that's going to allow you to be able to execute. So thank you, Mr. Grateful.
Thank you, fam. Appreciate you.
So listen, Houston, y'all getting a different show than everybody has gotten. This is the first time I'm here from like the beginning towards the end. Goddamn, I'm in the future. Houston, tomorrow, this the Triple D, my bad. This is the first time I'm here from the beginning to the end. I usually come out in the end and I'm y'all fly and you know it's mysterious. But I said, no, I got to give y'all more screen time, right? How did y'all like our movie? Denzel Keys was in full action. We shooting movies now. Just want to let y'all know if you want to do sponsorships for high-level media, if you want us to do some, shooting your content and work with us, you can contact Mechi. The link is in my bio, right? Big plug. Now, we have some wonderful ladies that we want to bring out. And the reason I wanted to bring them out, especially one of these sisters, she's from Dallas, right? And I've seen her growth. I've actually been knowing her for some years now. Last time I seen her actually in person, we was actually in Atlanta during the time of George Floyd, and we were giving out food, right? During the food deserts, we was working with the local, farmers, and we was passing out boxes to the community. Because I believe in not just protesting, going to the streets, yelling at the government to do something. I believe in solutions, right? And I believe in actually being with the people. And so I've seen her journey of growth. I've seen the resilience that she has. I've seen the execution, the ability to pivot, right? And now I see the next phase of the life to where she has this new podcast with her friend, Megan Ashley, right? And I've seen the relationship blossom between them to where you take somebody and you start collaborating and you work with them successfully. And this is something that we do not know how to do. The art of relationships is lost today, right? The art of collaboration is lost today. Not only that, the content that they have on their podcast, I believe a lot of it is high level because they're talking about journeys of healing, talking about journeys of self-discovery and things of that nature. And not only that, sis got money. You know what I mean? So we get to get some healing and some money talk at the same time. Y'all ready for that? So I need y'all to stand up, though. You know what I'm talking about? And I need to see them lights on, man. Can I see them lights? Each one of those lights represents a different star here. I need to see that cosmic energy. I need to feel the vibration in the room. I need to feel like I was in Dallas. Come on, all lights on, full participation. We don't get to make history in the same way twice. This moment is existing now. You have to feel the energy in the room, right? You have to be present. You have to ask yourself, why am I here? What am I here to gain? What am I here to learn? How am I going to transform myself? I was taught that the sun exists, right, to shine light and cast on certain areas, but the other star reaches where the sun doesn't. And each one of you all has a certain magnitude of light. I can't reach your family, but you can. Right? And so you all have to bring light bringers to the darkness so that we can illuminate the world. That's the power that each person has. So I got another question to ask y'all. When I say how you feeling, I need you to say godly. How you feeling? Godly. I don't know, that was a little low. That wasn't godly. How you feeling? Godly. How you feeling? Godly. How you feeling? Godly. Are we low level or high level? Godly. Are we low level or high level? Godly. Are we poor or wealthy? Y'all weren't ready for that. But we're going to get some money. Make sure y'all give it up to the good sisters, B.SIMONE and Megan Ashley of Know For Sure podcast.
Hey, what's up, Dallas?
What's up? Blessings. How you doing?
Let's go. Let's go. I'm from Pleasant Grove, so I know we high level, but I'm from the hood.
I don't know what that meant, but I know it
I'm
meant
from
something
Pleasant
ghetto, though. I'm from Oakland and St. Louis, so you feel me? It don't get more dangerous than that, I should say. It might get more hood.
I graduated from Skyline.
I ain't even graduate. No, I'm just playing. I graduated.
Like, what?
Now, how y'all feeling today?
We feel good.
Okay,
Thanks for
good.
having us.
Absolutely.
When you posted the flyer, I was like, your supporters was not fucking with us.
Yeah, it be like that sometimes.
They was like, these girls are not high level. I was like, I am working on it. If y'all ain't seen my growth, I don't know what to tell you. God is working on us, okay?
That's what I'm talking about.
We working on it. We are a work in progress. I mean,
For
she a little
me-
more high level than me, but.
For me, execution is high level, right? There's some people who have, this idea of their own self-worth. I got all this knowledge, this consciousness. I be floating when I meditate, but they ain't got a dollar and ain't built nothing. That's not high level. So you can't have light without work. You understand me? That energy has to transfer into something to show proof that your light works, right? Now, I want to know, number one, when it comes to y'all relationship as friends, right? Because it's hard to do business with friends. I had to leave a lot of friends behind, right? How does it work in the form of making sure that this collaboration has success? With this Know For Sure podcast, it seems super intentful, right? To make sure that every aspect, this thing will actually work out. Because sometimes I think people get lazy when they get success and they're not thinking about the things that can go awry. I can just tell by your communication and your team that you're thinking about all the things that could go wrong and you making sure you pivot along that journey, right? So where is the intent in your relationship of building this?
I think we built our platform on honesty and transparency. At first, we kind of didn't know what we were doing, but we had deep conversations outside of the camera, so we wanted to bring it to camera. But it's important to do what you're good at, not try to do everything. She likes the feel of things. She likes the energy. She likes the experience, the ambiance. I'm the marketer. I like the way things look. You need both. So I think trying not to overstep your gifts and do what you're good at and let the person do what they're good at and kind of excel in that lane.
Yeah, for sure. Like she said, she's a visionary. B has the gift to see, where my gift is more of the experience and how things are perceived, how things feel. And I think that that's why we've been able to be so successful, is because visually, aesthetically, it's pleasing, but it also feels good at the same time. So you're getting a full experience.
So let me ask you, and today we are in a generation where things are very highly materialistic, right? Everybody wants to show what they have. That's how we create content, right? Lifestyle branding and things of that nature. But on the flip side, I want to ask you specifically, Megan, what does it mean to you to be a spiritual woman?
I mean, I have gone through probably the roughest month that I've experienced in a really long time. And so I used to think that I was like a super spiritual person until I had to fight spiritually. And I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know how to fight spiritually. And based off of what I believe, my word says that you fight not against flesh and blood, but it's principalities. And so I didn't know what that meant until it actually came knocking at my front door. And so learning how to fight spiritually is what's making me become more of a spiritual woman. More than just saying I'm spiritual. Because I think people say that, but you don't know what it's like to fight spiritually. So I'm learning that now.
Wow.
No, that's deep. That's deep. I need y'all to start saying that's deep when we say something deep. That's deep.
That's deep. I'm from Pleasant Grove. You supposed to say that's deep.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, he knew who he brought on this stage, so.
No, and so at the same time, right? For me, I've been going through a little journey of, dealing with shadow self, right? And when you deal with shadow self, it's just like what you said, you go through a spiritual battle, like you really see yourself, right? And in that journey, you have two choices: to go back and revert, step out of that lane because it can be too tough, or you learn to accept yourself. When you learn to accept yourself, you realize the journey ain't about perfection, it's about wholeness, right? Becoming whole. Because some of us have only accepted maybe 60% of ourselves, right? And that 40% that you haven't accepted, that you may be ashamed of, is sabotaging you. Because you haven't accepted it, which means you don't have full awareness, which means you don't have control over it, right? And it shows up in our actions and it sabotages our lives. And we be like, damn, why the hell I do that? Right? And so for me, I've been deepening that journey of going within. So I want to ask that question to you about just healing, right? Like, what has that journey been for you when it comes to being successful, but at the same time, having to face yourself?
I think digging up the root of a lot of things. Like, I was at church last Sunday, a couple Sundays ago, and the word was about focusing on the secondary issue and not the root of it. I think a lot of times we do that, and we're not getting to the root of what's causing the problem. The person I used to be, as soon as I thought I found myself, I changed. Like, I was like, I know who I am. This is my purpose. I stopped liking certain things. I stopped listening to certain music. I started growing, healing, and evolving, and I thought I knew myself, and I changed. The person that made me famous or that gave me this platform is not even who I am today. So that was very difficult to be like, okay, you are growing. The person you used to be is not the person God called you to be. It was just a part of your journey. It's a part of your story, but you can't stay there. So the person that I was is the person that helped me build this platform but I was scared to evolve because I'm like, that's not what people want to see, you know. But I'm pretty transparent and vulnerable on my platform, and the right people that get it, they come along, and the ones that don't, it's not for you, you know. So I think just being true to who you are, and if you don't know who you are, you find it. You really find it. You have to spend time with yourself and find who you are.
You see, now y'all catching on. So, you know, when you getting money, you know, getting money can be a very masculine thing because you have to be logical at all times, which sometimes means you have to suppress the urge to be empathetic and be like, no, this is a money getting situation, right? And so a lot of women today is getting money. And it's masculizing a lot of women, and sometimes they have to suppress their femininity because of the situations they find themselves in where you have to be tough in this situation, right? So, you know, and you both can answer this question. How do you, number one, what does femininity mean to you? Because I feel like most women know what toxic masculinity means to them, but not everybody can explain what femininity is.
I'm still learning
You feel
because
me?
I be on first dates pulling out my card. First date, last date. I need to let a man be a man. I'm still learning
Hitting
how
them
not
with
to
that
be.
Gabrielle Union, huh?
You know, I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that now. I'll do a little 60-40, a little 70-30. But I'm learning how to be more feminine outside of the workplace because I am so masculine in my businesses. I run a business. I have, you know, team members. I don't like say employees, but people on my team that I oversee. And I'm learning how to be more feminine in my everyday life, more nurturing, more, not prissy, but just more feminine. So I'm still learning that. I'm on that journey actually right now. I've been single for so long. I'm like, I don't know what to do. You tell me what's a feminine woman. What you like?
That's deep. Megan?
I was raised by a very, very, very strong woman, a single mom, and she was not soft at all. My mom is from Mississippi. Yeah, shout out to Mississippi. And so that wasn't a thing growing up, so I don't even know if I have the answer for that. But I do believe that you need to be true to who you are as a woman, and the right man will be attracted to that. Do you know what I mean? And just be true to, because I feel like if we put like a label, this is what feminine is, then everyone, you know what I mean? If you're not naturally that, like I'm more of a tomboy. I have 3 boys. I raise boys. So my energy is a little different than just like a soft, you know, feminine woman. So.
Now that's interesting. Number one, I find a nurturing spirit to be feminine. So if you're raising boys, you have to have somewhat of a nurturing spirit in order for them to grow, right? I think women do a lot of feminine things. They just don't, it's easier to recognize the things that are masculine, right? You talk about manifestation. Manifestation is really a feminine energy, right? It's calling things into existence. When a woman is very feminine, things happen for her, right? The world moves. You understand me? Femininity is the ocean. Nothing is more powerful than the ocean. I don't care how much of a gangster you are, killer, president, you going against that ocean, you go lose, right? And so I think that we have a generation that hasn't been taught about what is the power of feminine energy, right? Because even in business today, it used to be super just masculine, shrewd bit capitalism. Today, you have to apply empathy in your business to win over your customers. The next generation is way more feminine. The generations that's coming up today because they're more in tune with emotions and intuition. Intuition is the feminine self. Expression is feminine, right? You know, the connection that you all have between each other, the loyalty, the looking out for each other, thinking about the other person, that's feminine. A man is like, I'm thinking for myself. It's tough love. You know what I mean? Dog eat dog world. You got to get your own. So, you know, even in situations learning, you know, when to use certain voices and when to be soft-spoken. You can melt a man with your soft-spokenness.
Yeah.
See, that's better than what's up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how they be nowadays. Well, ladies are aggressive these days.
It's like, I'm just playing.
All right. So, have you found a man yet?
No, what's up? I mean, no, sir. Yeah.
So, let me ask you. Because we have a generation, right? You see how I maintain my professionality?
I like that.
We in the shameless generation, right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask because I believe that there's a lot of things that a lot of, I would say, women go along with today, but don't always agree with everything that's in the larger, masses. It's just like, all right, that's what we doing, but I don't really fucks with that, right? The shameless generation is saying you can do anything and nobody should judge you for anything. Now, I get the whole judgment-free zone, but it also leaves out accountability, right? And if you can't hold yourself accountable, you can't hold any standards, right? And which means you can't build nothing off principle,
Yeah.
right? So for me, and I just want to kind of get a roundabout opinion on, do you believe something shouldn't be done in the sense of do whatever you want to and just be shameless, right?
100%. And I don't believe you have to judge, but that doesn't mean you have to agree. There's a fine line between being judgmental and being like, I just don't agree with that. So 100%, I don't think everything is a go. I don't agree with that. And the more you grow, the more you see things that were okay in your mind, but once your spiritual eyes start to open, you're like, I can't even believe I thought that was okay.
Right.
Certain things you see, you're like, this is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Certain things I was doing 6 months ago, I'm like, I was doing that? Jesus. But Lord, it's mind-blowing that at one point I thought certain things were okay.
Right.
Yeah.
There's something called the subversion of society, and it speaks on basically an attempt to destroy a society through destroying its morals, right? And so it's talking about this invisible war that happened. You can introduce concepts and ideas to a generation, and they say it takes, I think, 25 years to destroy 2 generations to where they don't have morals. Now, when you detach them of morals, even when you present somebody with the truth, they won't take it, right? They don't have the standards and the belief or a system even attached to it. Today, America is a broken world where there's no patriotism, there's civil war going on, and people can easily be swayed and manipulated, right? And I seen a meme that was saying that even when a dog sees his master attacks, it barks, right? But lies are like an attack on God. Living falsehood is like an attack on God. So if you're not willing to stand up and speak truth, then you're not willing to serve God, right? And I know you all consider yourself so it's like in today's time, we want to say the thing that we're thinking because we don't want to offend somebody else. And in that thought process, you got to ask, who do you fear? Right? Because I was taught, the fear of God makes you a loyal servant because you will follow his will because you fear his wrath. Right? So therefore, do you believe that it's a responsibility of, anybody with a platform, or just even if you're in private circles of friends, to speak that truth of accountability even though the culture is shameless?
I think there's a way to do that. I think that, like, for me, as far as what I believe in, it says that love deals in all truths. So if I love you, then I'm going to tell you the truth. Now, there's a way to do that. I think that to a conversation with a friend, if you know your person, you're able to speak to them in the way that they can receive, right? You still can speak truth, but speak it in a way that they can receive. When it comes to the public, I do believe that there has to be some wisdom and some discernment on how to approach that. But I think speaking truth is important, and if you can't say it directly, then maybe not. Just wait until you get some wisdom and discernment on how to say that. Or learn to stand on truth and don't care what anybody says if you feel that strongly about it. And I feel like people think that they have to say every thought that comes to their mind, every truth that comes to their mind. Oh, I need to tell you the truth about you. But you may not have that position in somebody's life to even say that. Do you know what I'm saying? So use wisdom. Like, allow God to give you wisdom on when to speak, when to say something. The Bible says a foolish man says all his thoughts. You're a fool if you say everything you think. You need to sit back and let some discernment and wisdom work on you and speak when you're moved to speak.
That was deep, right? I believe that to be true. I'm strategic, and because I look at life like a war. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to win your daily spiritual and mental battles, and you have to be able to continue to fight and live on for another day, so you don't fall on your sword in the moment, right? So with my platform, I make sure that I can maintain success, because if I, like you said, if I maintain a foolish pride, then I'm gonna just say everything that I think. And then they can use that against me to destroy the platform, and now I can't reach the people that need to be reached. So it's like, for me, and when I stand on principle and I move as I move, it becomes an unspoken truth, where I know what Keys would think on that. Yeah, he probably think that's some sucker shit. You know what I'm saying? I know he wouldn't take that. I know he wouldn't do this. So now I got community, you know what I mean, of people who already understand, which doesn't have to be spoken. And then sometimes, yes, you have to speak things in order to say you are who you say you are, right? Because you can't consider yourself revolutionary and then be around lies. And because sometimes not saying something is agreement with falsehood,
Coming into agreement.
right?
Yep,
So if you're
yep.
around somebody and they doing something they're not supposed to be doing, right? And in your mind, you're like, damn, that's some sucker shit. But you don't say nothing, right? They may think that it's okay, right? And so that's why it's a thin line in today's time. And I believe that truth is illegal today. You understand me? Like, you can literally be disowned or canceled.
Don't use that word. Oh, shit. Ooh, how many times have I been canceled? Lord.
But I want to switch gears a little bit. So, I love talking about entrepreneurship because, you can't go to war without money, right? Life is war. So I mean it in that sense. Like, in order for you to be able to take your ideas out your head, you got to be able to fund them, right? You need a budget. So in today, you got a lot of strategies that you use for content, right? You got your close friends, which was brilliant, right? And now Instagram created subscriptions and things of that nature, but you've already figured out how to monetize your community, and you've been doing that for a long time. So what are some of the strategies that you impose when it comes to community monetization and content monetization?
I literally listen to what people want from me. I read the comments. I look at the DMs. If somebody's saying, you touched me when you spoke about this, and this, and I'm very, very vulnerable and transparent. When I was on Instagram and YouTube going viral, I was in my little Toyota with 3 hubcaps. That's still on YouTube. Look it up. Right on Bruton in St. Augustine. Y'all, so I'm very, very transparent on my page, and I think that's what people relate to, and when they can relate to you, they don't feel alone. Mm-hmm. So I monetize on that community. I don't focus on, of course, I try to grow it, and I market and promote myself, but if there's 5 people that love your product or 5 people that believe in what you're doing, focus on those 5 people, and that I believe that community will grow, opposed to trying to get everybody else. Focus on the people that are already there and locked in. Mm-hmm. And that flourishes.
All right, so like, if I'm looking at, that strategy, number one, of course, I love that model as well. I read the comments, and I ask for feedback and testimonials so I can know what to do next, right? And it's like, people always want a certain type of advice from me. So, of course, I want to gear conversation towards that. Well, high-level conversations, innately, I know what was missing, and I added that into the algorithm, and that's why it works, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of people that I feel like today can't get something off the ground. And I was talking with Mr. Grateful in the background. It's like, today is better it's even more important to learn what your talent is, right? And even more important than your skill. And the reason that I say that is because AI can learn your skill, and that can be replaced. Right? But when you have a talent, you can build around that talent. That's something you're going to do passionately. And that's also an edge that you're going to have in the marketplace that somebody else doesn't have. Right? So I believe that this is the age of, like, really enhancing your talents. Now, me as Denzel Keys, I might start doing movies and stuff. Now, this Denzel Keys, is about to get serious. You feel me?
I'm about to say, I'm about to produce a movie in August, so what's up?
What's up?
All right, you got to audition.
No, all right.
All right, it's a love scene.
You got to relax. All right, so how do we make a movie? Now Dame Dash was talking about, you know, you need like 70 pages to make a movie and things of that nature. But you've made movies, you understand me? Now I want to know the model of making a movie because I want to learn how to do it and break into the industry. And I want to learn how to make a lot of money by doing it.
Yeah, my girl Ernestine, shout out to her. She has a model, create, don't wait. That's her thing. So we had a small script, 4 of us girls, and we put our money together, 4 girls, literally produced it, homegirls, friends, put our money together and made our own film. We got an investor, but we put our own money up. If you're not putting your own money up and you don't believe in yourself, you cannot expect anybody else to invest in you, to believe in your project, to believe in what you're doing. We believed in it. BET bought the movie, you know, and we're shooting part 2 in August, but we had no idea what we were doing. No idea. We got a director, we became the producers, we got an investor, and we had a script. We had somebody write the script, and we put it together. We shot the movie in like 2 weeks, 14 days, but create, don't wait. If you have an idea, stop trying to convince everybody else it's a good idea, because you're not even convinced, because you're not putting money up for it, you're not investing in yourself, you don't believe in it. Truly, if you believe in it, you have to do it first. And believe me, once they see your confidence, your boldness, your bravery, your gumption, they will hop on the train. And if they don't, then it's not for them, and the right people will, you know? So I truly believe that. You have to invest in yourself financially.
So let me ask you, Megan, how do you support a friend throughout a journey, right? I art to that, right? Because, you know, now y'all have like partnerships, right? But you were working a lot behind the scenes, right? So how do you go through that basis, number one, of without being jealous, without having any of those things? I think that pops up with a lot of people, jealousy and envy. Right, that jealousy is you want what they have, you don't want them to have it, or that envy is that you want what they have, right?
Yeah, so I never wanted to be in the spotlight. I know who I am. I know what my skills are. I know what God has gifted me with, and I'm good with that. I never wanted to be here. I loved behind the scenes, and I loved her. So I wanted to support her. I wanted to have the skills that I have administratively, with assisting and stuff like that, and creative directing. I wanted to take my skills and put it in. Why wouldn't I want to do that for my friend? Why wouldn't I want to do that? Why would I go and serve a company that I'm not gonna see any return on that investment? I'm not benefiting from that in my personal life. Like, why would I do that when my friend has a beauty company? I was doing makeup. She owns a beauty company. Why would I not go work for my friend? I was an assistant. I've been an executive assistant for years. She needed help. Why wouldn't I give that gift to my friend? Why would I not support her with my gift? Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that it's easy to, you know, I think it's hard in our culture, in our community, to collaborate together and say, hey, you be the face, I'll be the rib, I'll be the heart, I'll be the like, you know what I mean? And be a body. Everybody wants to be the face. Everybody does, but everybody can't be the face. The body can't move if there's just a face. It needs a full functioning body. And I was okay to be the heart, the pinky toe. I didn't care. I have a heart to serve. And so when you have a heart to serve, God will open up doors for you. Your gift will make room for you when you serve. And so I just wanted to serve. I didn't want to be there. There has never been an ounce of feeling of jealousy or envy, because I didn't want that. I don't want to be where you at. I want to be where I'm supposed to be at. And if that's behind you, then baby, I'm behind you.
I like that.
That's deep.
That's necessary though. Like, it's too many people that they want the results that someone else have, but they don't have the gift that got them that result. Right? But you don't even have the ability to go through that process to get those results. So I believe that there's a lot of people that, come on now, come on, man. Put knuckles on somebody. No, but listen though. So they messing up my flow and stream. But when you have a certain amount of gifts, you produce results, and everybody start looking at that. They like, damn, man, I like what that gift produced, but you don't have that gift. So it'll make you follow a result. And that can be your weakness, right? It's like a person want to rap because somebody else, they got cars, they got women, they get a certain amount of looks, they doing concert, but you actually suck.
That's not even your gift. You
It's not even your gift. So some people's dreams currently are attached to their weaknesses, right? And this is why I say you got to study self, the great customization. Everybody know their astrology sign, right? But not everybody know their gifts, right? Not everybody know their talents. Not every, for me, I don't believe in chasing purpose, right? I believe in, learning who you are and exposing the truth of who you are. And truth is purpose, right? Because, function or when you know the function of something, you know the purpose of it, right? So when you know what you're good at, why you're good at it, you understand me? Now you know what your function is, right? If I have a remote control and it turns off the TV, that's the function, which means it must be the purpose. Right? So when you study yourself, you know your parents, you know where you come from, because you have innate gifts that you inherit from both sides of your parents. And then you have the things that you experience that you find out about you. Oh, I like doing this. This makes me feel good and I'm good at it. And that's often what people find, and when you're on that true journey, like, oh, this must be my purpose then. But what happens is you may be doing something that's purposeful, but it's not producing the results of somebody else's purpose. Right? So now you want a bigger car, you want a girl with a bigger booty, because you being behind the camera ain't getting it. So now you want to be in front, but you ain't getting that success. So you have to study self and learn truth, and one of the quickest ways to get to a purpose is stop lying. Right? People lie too much is why they can't get to a truth. And lie is not just through words, it's through expression. So you do things and you don't know, why did I do that in the first place? Why are you going into the places? They're not connected to a vision. It's not connected to a value. It's all a lie.
Your intent.
Right. You can dress a certain way that's not really you. Right. You can be introverted, but you're always talking because you feel like you need to be social butterfly. It's a lie. It's not you.
Wow.
Right. And so finding that still place, finding that silence to be able to even explore what your truth is, then you be like, you know what? What would you do if money wasn't an issue? What would you do if you knew you would absolutely succeed? Right? That's what you would do without fear. Right? If the fear didn't exist, you would live a completely different life. If you knew that people would support it and you couldn't fail and there was no fear, you would start making decisions a completely different way. Yeah. Right? And many people don't live a fearless life. They live an insecure life. Right? Based on their traumas and the way other people told them things and them trying to be nice, and they never get to explore what their reality is. I talked about it earlier. There's a syndrome, they call it puella aeternis, and it means the forever boy, right? And then it's like puella aeternis means the forever girl. For women or girls, oftentimes they have to experience pain to break out the fantasy world, right? That fantasy world that you live in and you think the guy that you with gonna be with you forever. Right? And then you experience a pain and it forces you, like somebody cheats on you or whatever, and it forces you to see the world for what it is, not the illusion of your fantasy world that you built up. Right? What were some moments in you all's life where you experienced the pain that made you now see reality different?
I mean, just going off what you were saying, you have this idea of this American dream when you're younger. I'm 33, almost 35, no kids, no husband. It's like, in this society, culturally, I should be married by now, I should be a mom, I should be at home cooking and cleaning, I should be doing all of these things, but that's not truly what I was chasing. I was really focused on my purpose, my gifts. I moved from Dallas, Texas to Atlanta about 7 years ago to do music, acting, entertainment, use all my gifts in those type of ways. I wasn't really, okay, my clock is ticking, I should be married by now, I should have kids by now. So I think everybody's definition of success is different. Culture makes you think it's one way. And if you're not that way, something's wrong with you, your clock is ticking, you're running out of time, it's too late. Do not believe, those are all lies. Those are all lies. And she talks about facts and the truth. The fact is I'm not married. The truth is it's never too late. The fact is I might not have all the millions I want. The truth is I have $1 billion ideas in my brain. There's facts and there's truth. Just because you're living in a fact doesn't mean it's the truth.
That's deep.
Can I just say something really quick about
this is a conversation, by the way. It ain't got to be like me asking questions. I really don't do interviews, so this is new for me. I like to have a full conversation. You should have been
said something. What y'all doing?
just about piggybacking off of what you said
We
about
veggie back,
the
no,
fantasy and having to deal with reality. My mom used to say this all the time, like, if you don't deal with reality, reality will deal with you. Like, if you don't face the truth about yourself, it's going to chin check you at some point. And if you think that you've gotten away with it, you haven't. Life will chin check you and make you deal with you. And I think that we're so used to dealing with everybody else and pointing at everybody else and looking at them and judging them and condemning them and, oh, you did that wrong, and oh, you're wrong, and but when's the last time that you've checked yourself? When's the last time you looked in the mirror and said, what do I need to deal with? And when you get to the point where you are, God, okay, fix me. I ain't even worried about when you fix you, everything changes. When you fix your mentality, when you decide to start having the right mind and moving with intent and following your purpose and your, what you're destined to do on this earth, when you focus on that, then everything else changes. But you can't fix nobody. You only can have control over you. That's it.
I 100% believe that. So I want to talk a little bit about habits, right? Because I think a lot of people have skinny goals but fat habits.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? Now, but shit, you done been through a body transformation.
Yeah, I'm still working on it. I still ain't seen an ab in sight. I'm like, when do you get the
They
ab?
under there though.
Oh, Jesus.
You gotta keep going.
Come on.
So that's what I wanted to get to. So, I done seen you do the vegan meal prep and you be working out, and actually you don't mind showing people the journey, right? Which a lot of people, they get the surgery and then pop up and they just got a new body.
Yeah.
You
And
know
if you're
what I'm
going to do that, go ahead, document it. I'm telling y'all can monetize off the journey now. Stop hiding your journey.
They usually only show it when it goes bad. Right?
Yeah.
And then it's too late. But that's kind of, to me, that's like you're forced to show it.
Yeah.
You're not showing because you want to. People will have questions, right? So you're trying to be proactive. And it's what everybody's choice they want to do or whatever, right? But I want to know for you, just talking about health, because I don't think we had that conversation enough. To me, health is wealth, right? That's your power. Like, you can have all the money in the world, but you ain't got no energy. You can't do shit with it. And if you die early, then you ain't got no legacy, right? So, there's things called blue zones where there's certain parts of the planet Earth where people live a long time. Japan has the highest rate of life expectancy in the world.
Wow.
Right? In the hoods of America, they ain't blue zones, they black zones. You know what I'm saying? We dying fast. So, I want our people to live a very long time, a very healthy life. And wealth is also having joy and having peace and having relaxation and having calmness. Right? That's in a state of healing where you're not in fright or flight, you're not in fear mode. But we live in environments that's impoverished, low education, we constantly distracted and busy, and we're not even eating the type of foods that give us energy and make us feel alive.
Trying to survive.
So what did you learn on that journey transforming?
It takes a while, you guys. At first, I try to stop everything cold turkey. So I'm not going to do this. It just wasn't realistic. You've been 20, 25 years, 30 years eating a certain way, living a certain lifestyle, and you trying to change every single detail like that overnight. Health is wealth didn't hit me and slap me in the face until November. I started having gut health issues. And when I tell you, I was rolling around on that bathroom floor, about to call the emergency room. I'm like, I don't give a fuck how much is in my bank account. Like, nothing else matters when you're sick. Nothing. You can't even enjoy the fruits of your labor because you in a hospital bed or you have pain and you just will do anything to make the pain go away. I was like, God, please, I will try to stop eating dairy. Please, just take it away. But I really realized that when I started having gut health issues. So I changed one thing after another slowly. I haven't had meat for 7 years, but I still have dairy. I try not to eat dairy. I try to be conscious of what I'm putting into my body. I take vitamins. I got the whole vitamin pack. I just took some vitamins before I came out here. I try to be consistent. Like, if you could take a shot of tequila, you could take a shot of ginger. It's not that serious. Like,
I ain't never heard that one. That's a good one.
You know what I mean? If you could take some Hennessy, you could take a little wheatgrass. Like, they both nasty. So when I started changing my mindset around being healthy, it's so much more expensive. It's so much harder. It's really not. It's just you're not used to the lifestyle. Change one thing at a time opposed to trying to change everything at once. That was the easiest thing for me. Yeah.
In the industry, right? I got a thing that I like to say: be impressed by nothing, right? And try not to relate to as many things, right? And what I mean by that is, I go into different rooms that's not connected to who I am and my nature, but sometimes I gotta move and I gotta network around snakes, right? But you gotta know who you are in order to do that, otherwise that environment can corrupt you. And a lot of times it starts with being impressed by things, right? And when something makes an impression on you, it makes a mold on you, and it changes the integrity of who you are, and a person can use that to manipulate you. Because now you see the car, you see the house, you see the access. Now you impress, and now they can use that against you. So when I go to places, I try not to be impressed by nothing, right? So I walk in there with my full regalia and confidence of knowing who I am, right? And I bring my own atmosphere, no matter where I'm at, right? It's like being surrounded by your principles and your morals, right? And so when a person sees me, they like, okay, and Keys done brought his own energy in the room. He done shifted everything. Everybody done. I'm coming in there chill. For real, they don't even know I'm relaxed, but I like when everybody get on guard. Because now I'm changing the environment. I'm not letting the environment change me. In the industry, I'm sure you see a lot of weird things. Was there, I know for a fact, you understand me, it's just weird stuff go on. Was there any moments like as you move about where you was like, you know what, this not me. I got to get out this room. You understand me? I got to get out this situation because I feel like it's not conducive to what I feel like my nature or my energy is.
I can't pinpoint a moment, but I'm almost sure I've been in those situations.
New Year's Eve.
What'd you say?
New Year's Eve.
Jesus.
Come on, tell us the story. She done said it now.
Ooh, we was
Can't
at
say
that
that.
party like, bitch,
Ooh, we gotta go.
we gotta go.
I've never been in a place where
They
it's
about
like
to sacrifice.
punk rockers. It was too much. It
Yeah.
was too much. Yeah.
So yes, to answer your question, I just think we're ourselves in those rooms, though. Like that's literally what happened in that situation. But in those situations, like you said, you walk into the room being yourself. I'm gonna walk into a room totally comfortable. If I'm not comfortable, I'm probably just, hey, I'm not coming tonight, or hey, I'm not in the mood, or hey, I'm not. Let me know when's the next time I'll pull up then. I make sure I'm always, okay, I'm ready to be in those situations so I can be myself and remove myself politely if I don't feel comfortable in that environment. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think knowing who you are before you enter these rooms, before you enter those meetings, before you enter having to sign a contract, whatever the circumstance, knowing who you are before you're in that situation.
We used to say a lot, like if we had to go to a party or something that seemed social, before we would leave, we would be like, okay, what's our intent? Mm-hmm. Like, why are we going?
Why are we going?
Why are we even going? So then when you know your intent, you're able to go in and you're focused and you're not being persuaded by the environment. Like she said, you know who you are and you know why you're there. And then you move like that.
And when you meet your intent, you out.
Leave.
Thank you,
Yeah.
and you go.
No, see, when I move with the homies and we go to different places, it's like you got to make sure you networking with somebody that's going to be of value later on. So I got a point of why I spent this time and this value, right? We go to a place. I remember we was at a party and we met up with Nori, right? And I was with my brothers from EYL. And he was like, y'all, I got the perfect idea. I need to have y'all on. And we did the Drink Champs. But it was like before I even went, I had told, my peoples, this was the intent. We're going to go there. We're going to get a certain particular network. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something of value, right? So I truly 1,000% believe in setting your intentions before you go to a place. Because it's the same. It makes you better in conversations. It makes you better in everything because now you have a point, right? Especially with men, if you're talking to anybody, especially a woman, she can tell when you don't have a purpose or a point. You know what I'm saying? You're just rambling. You don't even know how to get to a point, right? But when you have an intent inside your mind and the more truthful you are with that intent, whether it's high level or whether it's low level, it's going to increase and magnify your ability to bring that into reality, right? I always keep those things at the forefront of my thought process at all times, right? I operate off the law of magnetic attraction, right? Like things come together. Right? When I see you all, I think about the law of magnetic attraction. When things are alike, they are magnetic to each other. They're going to come into the atmosphere. When I see people and we're on that same path, we always run on the same path, right? I always run into a certain type of people. Now, the way it works is the stronger bonds that you have with people that you are alike, it increases both of you all magnetic ability, right? That's why a friendship bond increases opportunities, right? If you're doing a business, people always like two people, sometimes more than one. You're creating content, you know, two people is better than one. That bond that people see is magnetic on screen and it pulls people in. I operate with the laws of the universe, right? I don't just operate with one law, because most people, they think that the law of attraction is the only law, right? I akin it to if you got a gun case and your lawyers keep talking about freedom of speech. That ain't got nothing to do with your gun case, right? He got to talk about the right to bear arms. So most people don't know the law for the situation that they're trying to produce, right? I operate in the law of superior confidence. That law of superior confidence allow other people to confide and see what I see in myself. Now they have the same confidence that I have in me. So now things move in a way that I want them to, right? And I believe that most people's chief issue is just a lack of confidence, right? You need somebody to second this. I need a third opinion and a fourth opinion. I don't need no opinions. See, I know the fact that I came up with it, it was a good idea, right? That's the law of confidence. But sisters, we don't have that much time, and I want to thank y'all for coming. If y'all can stand up again. You know, if you want to say, I don't know what he's saying. He's trying to, huh? Oh yeah, man, it's so much stuff going on, I almost forgot. Listen, now, we're going to talk about getting a little more money. It ain't over yet. Y'all want to get some money? Now, I got a brother who be getting money, man. Not only he be getting money, he be teaching getting money to the stars. You know what I'm talking about? He been getting money for a whole long time. Anybody know what options are? Who in here trade? If you trade, that means you learn how to print your own money. That means that even if the market is going down, you can make money. So if you look at the stock market right now, if it says it going down, you can still make money on options on the downside. Now, if you don't know what that means, this is the reason I'm about to bring in my brother, who I think is one of the youngest, most talented dudes in this space, who make hundreds of thousands of dollars in this space, and he's transparent on his journey. He taught himself coming out the military, and now he is able to do this full time and teach thousands of people around the world. So if y'all can give it up for my good brother Aristotle, investments of Honeybee and Drip. No, y'all gonna stay out here. Y'all gonna stay out here. We gonna talk money with y'all too.
Let's get it. Let's get it. What's
happening with the guy, man? Look at this chain, man.
Oh yeah.
Come on now.
Let's get it. How you
it.
doing? What's up? How you doing? I'm Aristotle. How you doing?
Hi, nice to meet you, Megan.
Let's get it.
I need y'all to say, can you teach me how to make money, Aristotle? Now it's on you, man. How we gonna make some money?
I mean, you know, I'm primarily an option trader, a long-term investor, dividend investor. Those are my favorite strategies to make money. And then, of course, I do a little e-com, a little real estate. I just try a lot of things that make money.
Yeah. Who have you helped make money? Because I know we talk about it a lot. And, you know, some people that you help, they won't advertise it, but you help a lot of people on the back end.
Right. People like Lil Baby, people like DC Young Fly. Who else? NFL players, safeties, quarterbacks in the NFL, a lot of people.
Well, given that you're not a financial advisor, why do people trust you in a sense to where you gonna help them make some money?
Track record of guessing the right plays, I would say, would make people trust me. Like DC Young Fly is somebody I really helped too, as far as stock market and everything. Like, made him multiple six figures. Yeah.
Multiple six figures. That's what I'm talking about. That's why we homies. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
With real estate too?
Well, like, I do it on my own. I'm not like a person who would take money from people and do it. Yeah.
So can you explain to people what do you do as far as day trading? What options are?
So basically, I'm a day trader. So that means like I trade from 9:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. So I trade within that, but I only trade the first 3 hours. So basically, I'm looking for strategies. So I have like about 10 strategies that I use. They're called setups. So to make a long story short, I watch 6 stocks at a time, and I chart before the market opens. I chart what could possibly happen. Now, granted, things can change when the market opens, and I can adapt. So that's another thing. Trading is all about adapting. But I do have a game plan when I walk in. But now I'm so good to where I can literally wake up 15 minutes prior and still go make 5,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I average about 5 to 15,000 a day trading. But lately, this year, it's been about 10 to 20,000 a day.
A day. Transparently though, so I know a lot of people that's in the market, and we like to talk about wealth, right? Financial literacy is something that's missing in our culture, right? And we grow up in financial deserts is what I call them, when you don't have somebody around you that can give you financial advice. Same thing if you grow up in a food desert, you don't have access to nutrient available foods, right? Something of substance. So, you know, on this journey of financial literacy, I remember 2020 in the market, well, I remember 2008 recession, and the market crashed, and, you know, everybody had to wait on the government, right, to try to give them some money. Now, we're going to a place where they're trying to make people completely depend on social welfare, right? And that's making you a slave to the government completely, because now you don't have the ability to depend on yourself. But when I learned about options, I thought it was incredible, because I was like, damn, if more people and our culture knew about it, more people would develop a skill, and it allows you to print money out the market.
Right.
Right? Like, you coming out of the military, number one, first, I want to know, you know, anybody can learn it, right? But it takes a certain amount of emotional intelligence, right? So when it comes to money, what is your relationship with money?
Money is, I use it as more of a tool. So, like, I don't look at it as like I worship it. I more so look at it from a generational wealth standpoint. So I always tell people, if you really want to get rich, you have to figure out how long does it take you to become a millionaire, right? So it was a chart that I saw that showed me that if I invest $100 every week, I was on like 20 at the time. It was saying I'll be a millionaire by 65. So then I start playing with the chart. I'm like, okay, what if I put in 200? And then the time just kept, my retirement age just kept coming down. The more money that I kept consistently putting in. So what I realized is the more I invest in myself, the quicker I will get to $1 million. And then, like, once I got to a point of investing $3,000 a month, my time went from 65 to I was gonna be a millionaire at 32 years old when I was 20. You get what I'm saying? So that, but then what you don't realize is once you start on that journey, you start trying to beat your time. It start becoming a game to you. So now you like, hold up. All right, cool. I done saved, what if I put in 5,000 now? And then after a while, 10,000. I start being like Nip, all money in. You get what I'm saying? But
So when did you become a millionaire?
I became a millionaire, well, it's funny because I actually became a millionaire, like we talking about cash. When did I have $1 million cash? Because $1 million net worth and $1 million cash is different. So I had $1 million cash January 2020, but I had $1 million net worth, I would say, and I was still in the military. I had $1 million net worth in 2019. Made my first 6 figures in 2018. And I made my first 8 figures when I was 25. I'm 27 now.
Yeah. Give it up.
Awesome.
Wow.
On this stage, you know, you have a representation of a new generation who figured out how to do things in different ways, right? Nobody up here has, you know, some classical degree and they're working some job like a lawyer or a doctor or things of that nature, right? It's really based on talent, gifts, and skills, right? And that to me is the most important thing. This brother, I see him every single day posting his losses and his wins, right? Which is rare. And I sit down with him in lessons to where he teaches me what, you know, you call them high probability setups, which is learning how to read the market, right? Now, what you do is sniping, which, you know, you go in there and you making trades in a few seconds or a few minutes, but it goes out in different time frames, right? Some people, I believe, need to invest based on their emotional intelligence, right? Some people need longer term things. Like, you know, I want to know because you say you help DC on Fly, but I know he's busy as hell. You know, so how were you able to help him make money? Because I know he can't be sitting there with the setups and trading.
Great question. So what we did was we studied dividend investing. So what I told him was, and by the way, the brother got money. by the way. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so the brother came to me with a bag, right? And he said, help me invest this. So he came to me with 7 figures. We invested it. 300 racks, like a year later, right? So how did I help him do that was I taught him the dividend game. So I said, hey, bro, what you got to do is because you're going to be on tour, because you're going to be doing this, you got to have your money working for you instead of sitting still. So dividends is like a portion of the company's profits they pay to their shareholders. So let's just say you got $1 million, cool. But would you rather it sit still? Because even if you just putting it simply in the Apple's high dividend savings account, right? That's 5% return. So $1 million, 5% of that is what, 50K? So that's still money. So what I tell people is no matter what, don't let your money sit still.
Right.
Always like for instance, I spend, and I'm gonna just give y'all some real
And can you explain to them what a dividend is too?
A dividend is a portion of the company's profits that they pay out to the shareholders. So let's just say, and dividends can be paid quarterly, they can be paid monthly, or they can be paid yearly. Now, how do you find out whether it's quarterly, monthly, or yearly? What you would do is you would Google the stock ticker, dividend history, and then you would click on the one that says NASDAQ. Now, if you see that they pay out 4 times a year, they are a quarterly paying dividend company. If you see that dividend company pays out 12 times a year, they are a monthly paying dividend company. So I like to diversify and invest in both, which is monthly dividends, but in quarterly dividends. So I look for the person who has I look for like that medium, who can get it for the cheapest and has the highest payout. I look for that medium, and I could tell you some good stocks that I like.
Well, let me hear the stock.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
What about like the average person that can't bring you 7 figures, like a DC Young Fly?
Exactly.
Like-
so that would be option trading.
Oh, okay.
We'll be leveraging money. So options allow you to leverage quickly with small amounts of money. So I can give you an example. So let's just say we got $2,500, right? You know how they say if you got $2,500, put your hands up. See what my
Yeah, I
ball
got
is.
it.
My people's got money in here. They
All
got
right, cool.
If you got $2,500 and you single, put your hands up.
Make sure y'all stop at the merch booth on your way out. I know y'all got money now. You know what I'm saying?
So let's just say we got $2,500, right, folks? So with this $2,500, what I'm going to do is called the 20-20 rule when I trade. So I always tell my new people, whoever trading, if you got $2,500, we're going to use the 20-20 rule. So pretend like every finger is $500, correct? So 20% of $2,500 is $500, right? So what I do is the 20-20 rule. I use 20% of that account, and then my profit goes 20%, which is $100. So you get what I'm saying? So I got $2,500. I'm only going to leverage 20% of my account, which is called risk management. So that way, if I fail, I still got 80% to get back in the fight with. So a lot of people would use all, and then if they fail, you lost it all. So what you do is you use what is called risk management. So if I got $2,500, I invest $500, and I want just a quick 20% return, which is what? $100. And if I do that 5 times, I have now made what? $500 off $2,500. Now that's assuming if I get all trades right and I take profits at 20%. If you get what I'm saying. So I call that the 20-20 rule, using 20% of your account and then you taking out 20%. So we also call this the more size, less trades method. Now, what would you invest that 20% of your account on? Only high probability setups. So what are high probability setups? High probability setups are setups that if I played it 100 times, it would work 80 to 75% of the time. I like 90 to 70% stuff. So I have developed strategies that I know if I play this 100 times, I'm going to hit 80 to 90% of the time. So I only play those setups. So what I noticed is, and I came up with this system myself. I said, you know what? I notice when I only play the setups that work, I win.
Right.
But when I try to, do like
new.
just crazy stuff, like some hope stuff, I lose. So I say, you know what? I'm just gonna take a step back and only play the stuff that worked, became profitable. Simple like that.
And see, when he talking about them high probability setups, he talking about recognizing certain patterns in the market,
Yeah.
right?
History
Based on
repeats
him,
itself.
history repeats itself. Everything is a cycle in the market, right? When you understand the way that the market is built, it's going to react certain way to certain dates, certain, if there's war going on, like, if there's AI going on, AI stocks just went up, the market is always going to reward some sort of industry, right? But for him, he always tell me, you don't look at the news, you look at the charts.
Yeah, I don't watch the news, so that's the reason why I'm up over 600,000. It's only been 6 months. I've averaged 100K a month so far. Investing this year is because I knew I've been trading for 5 years, and I noticed that the news is fear mongering. So check this out: when COVID came out and they hit, when COVID hit, the stock market dropped. But little do people know that the billionaires already know the world order plan. They understand that people are going to stay at home. They already know to invest in Zoom because they already know to invest.
And they got AI.
You get what I'm saying? So they already know things. So when the market drops, the billionaires are buying. You get what I'm saying? And then we're all selling. You get what I'm saying? Because we're scared. And then the news is saying, oh, the market is going lower, the market is going lower, the market is going lower. So they start to fearmonger you. So what I learned was you got to buy when people are fearful. You get what I'm saying?
And the news is always old. Once it hits to the public, it's already old news.
Yeah.
That's what you have to understand. Like, it has to go through publications and all of that. You have to, like, I know when I was first learning about it, like, looking at Forex Watch and looking at Market Watch and things of that nature, right? Like, even when it came to, like, crypto news was usually getting, like, all of them sites was getting their news from Google. You know what I mean? So if you wasn't waking up going directly to the Google News, you're going to be getting secondhand information, waiting for them to adopt the news and then spread it across social media. So it's like you have to understand that public news is always old.
I'm going to tell you when to watch the news, though, because I wouldn't say ignore the news. Watching the news, you have to watch for what a company will be in rumors about the company. So
Public sentiment.
I'm going to give y'all an example. So I hit on most stocks except one. The one I missed that slept under the rug was Netflix. So check this out. What people don't understand is, like, when companies, the stock market is based off supply and demand. So you remember when COVID hit, everybody was staying at home, right? So that means Netflix is naturally going to get more subscribers. Zoom is naturally going to get more subscribers. Workout equipment like Peloton, they shot up because people are working. So it's time periods throughout the market. So you got to know what time period am I in. So now I'm in the inflation time period. So it's up to me as an investor to watch the news and determine what could possibly happen in the future. So for instance, Netflix is the one I missed, for example, because we already saw the news that Netflix was going to cut down on password sharing. So you as an investor got to say, okay, I heard this piece of news. Is this going to make them profit more? And sure enough, it will. Do you know they had the largest new subscribers because now people are forced to get their own account. So now their profits go up and the stock shoots up. Wow. You get what I'm saying? So you got to, that's what you watch the news for, to see, okay, is this going to make them make more money? Because if the company makes more money, the stock has to naturally go up. Even if they drop, you buy that dip because you understand that this is a profitable company.
Right.
So stocks go through correction. So don't look at a drop as, oh, the world is ending. Look at it as, this is an opportunity for me to invest into a profitable company for a cheaper price. You got to change your mindset. You get what I'm saying?
So listen, I need y'all to say it again. So Aristotle, teach me how to make some money. You tell them where they can find you. And if we can leave with a last quick word from everybody on, number one. Oh, you didn't say the stocks. If you want to say, that could be. If you want to let that be the last word, because we got to get out of here.
Okay. the list real quick for dividend stocks. Okay.
If y'all make some money, I want 10%.
So it's funny because I like to do what is called leaps too. I like to buy long-dated option calls, and I've made close to 300K already off leaps. But I'm gonna tell you some leaps I like, and then some dividend stocks I like. O Realty is a REIT, which is a real estate investment trust company, and basically they are a real estate company that they pay dividends because you gotta think if these people own real estate, they're getting passive income, so they can afford and they're profitable. They can afford to pay their shareholders dividends. So usually REITs are, and it's a monthly paying dividend company. It's called O Realty.
What's the ticker?
O, just the letter O. And then you got Main. The ticker is MAIN, Main Street Capital, which is another REIT, right? Or REIT, however you say the name. So that's another one. I think they're monthly as well. And then you got Stag, STAG, another great dividend paying company. And then you got Coca-Cola, which is called a Dividend King. So a Dividend King is somebody who increases in their dividends over a long period of time. So Coca-Cola keeps rising their dividends. Even ExxonMobil, the energy and gas company, they're a Dividend King, great dividend company. Another dividend company I like is, I don't like their business model, but they pay an excellent dividend. Mo, they're the ones who make Marlboro cigarettes. I don't like their business model. I'm not a fan of tobacco because I see the trend decreasing as time go by. Now in Europe, you know, they smoke that tobacco like,
Yeah.
I'm talking about like, man, but they are investing in marijuana. But, you know, I gotta study a little bit more on the marijuana industry and see how profitable they are, because a lot of marijuana stocks turn into penny stocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel me? So.
Well, family, that's all we have time for. I hope y'all make some money. Y'all want to know more? My brother Aristotle. Make sure y'all watch Know For Sure podcast. Listen to it. Join Honeybee Drip Network.
Yeah,
He
Honey
will
Drip.
teach you for free.
Yeah.
Nah, it ain't free. I'm just playing. Look, family, I need y'all to stand up. This is a history in the making as we're trying to create a new culture. Look at all these beautiful faces. Look at all these black people came out here to learn about wealth and knowledge and enlightenment and empowerment. If we did this more often, it'll change the culture. If we did this every month and every week, it creates a rhythm. What you do frequently becomes your what? Right, so therefore, this is how you change something. If you want to be consistent and you want to operate on a certain vibration, you have to change your habits. You have to change what we do consistently. So if we had a culture that was talking about wealth, talking about healing, talking about business, talking about technology in the future, what will we produce? Right, so we have to be able to feed our minds, because whatever's in our mind, we're going to produce in our reality. So how y'all feeling? Oh, dang. Some people say hello, some people say godly. Both of them is right. How we feeling? How we feeling? I need the people to say down here, I need you to say I am. And I need y'all to say godly. Are we low level or high level? All right, let's live like it then. Thank y'all. Are we low level or high level?